Welcome everyone. Nice that you are joining this yoga class Monday evening, and we are going to go to the fundament of yoga today, and that's the breath. So if you want, you can lay down and I will start the yoga class with the 3-path breath. So I'm going to stay seated, but now you have your time to come lay down, I'll show you, onto your back. If you really want to stay seated, that's also possible. But I invite you to lay down onto the floor for this breath. And let us just become still for a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. Arriving. Letting go of the day, whatever you have been doing. And just arrive here. Wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Maybe have a moment of gratitude that you created some time and energy to join this online yoga class. Make sure you are laying down somewhere where you cannot really get distracted. So check maybe the clothes, or maybe, I don't know, some furniture or whatever there is at this moment where you already now know that that's gonna really bother you. So you're taking care of yourself to really find a position where you can really slow down. And as you lay down here onto the floor, feel how the earth is supporting your body. Feeling the contact points of your body and the earth. Maybe you want to visualize that someone is carrying you. I sometimes visualize that this big giant hand is holding me so that I can really rest into that hand, that I can let go. You don't need to do anything. Just simply be here, listening to my voice. And allow the body to rest. Relaxing the feet and the toes. Relaxing the ankles, the calf muscles, the shin bones. Relaxing the knees and the thighs. Relaxing the upper legs. Relaxing the hips, the pelvis, the buttocks. Relaxing the belly. Relaxing your back. And relaxing the front of your body, the front of your ribs, the stomach, the sternum. Relaxing the shoulder blades and the back of your shoulders. Relaxing the front of the shoulders and your arms. Relaxing the elbows, the lower part of your arms. Relaxing your wrist, your hands, and relaxing your fingers. Relaxing the throat area and your neck. Relaxing the back of the head, the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, the cheeks, the nose, the lips, the mouth, the tongue, even the teeth and the gums. Relaxing the front of the body and relaxing the back of the body. Relaxing the left side of the body and relaxing the right side of the body. And relaxing your body as complete one. And then bring your focus towards the breath. If you can breathe, you can practice yoga. The breath is the fundament, the base of yoga. What kind of relationship do you have with your breath? Is that maybe something completely new to you? Or are you already used to witness or observe the breath? In a way, that doesn't matter. It does not matter if you have been practicing it already for a long, long time, or that this day, tonight, maybe it's your first time. As we all beginners, where we have left our practice yesterday, how is your breath right now? What is your relationship with your breath right now? It's probably different than the last time when you maybe observed your breath. And it surely will be different from the next time when you observe the breath. So the breath has a lot of different powers, but one of the powers the breath has is that when you can focus on the breath, you know for sure you are in the present moment, in the now. or in the yoga it's called Atha. If you're going to study yoga, soon or later you will going to read the Yoga Sutras. There are many, many sutras, and they're like guidelines for a happy life, you can say. And they're very old. And the first Yoga Sutra, Yoga Atha Anushashunam, it means that you can only practice yoga in the now. Atha, now. And there's something so beautiful about this word Atha. The word Atha, now, is not judging. Does not ask you, how long have you been practicing and observing the breath? How many times have you been practicing on your yoga mat? What have you been doing yesterday? What will you do tomorrow? It's not important. It says, practice just to be in the now, and you will be a happy person. So let's start with practicing the 3-path breath. So bring both hands onto your belly, your lower abdominals. And now see if you can guide your breath. Just explore and experience your breath in your belly. And your hands can help you with that. So send your breath into your belly. Maybe you feel your belly rising and falling. Maybe it's easy to do, maybe it's not so easy to do. Also here you can still observe. So that's the belly breath, breathing into the belly. And slowly lowering or bringing your hands a little bit more up towards your diaphragm. You can bring your elbows maybe a bit towards the side, spreading the fingers a little bit wider, opening up the fingers, the hands. And feel the ribs. And see if you can actually breathe into your hands. So you have your hands maybe a little bit more to the side of your body. And breathe into the hands, breathe into the ribs. That's called the diaphragm breath. Maybe you can feel your hands pushing a little bit aside, being pushed towards the side. And on an exhale, that your hands and your ribs are dropping back again to its neutral position. And then you can even place your hands a little bit higher towards your chest. Maybe with the top tips of your fingers, you can touch your collarbone, your sleutelbeen. And then see if you can, just a couple of times, breathe in all the way towards your chest, all the way towards your hands. And then you can bring your hands back to a more comfortable position. Maybe place one hand onto your belly and the other hand somewhere around your diaphragm or maybe your chest. And then see if you can combine these 3 breaths. So breathe in to your lungs, to your diaphragm, all the way towards your belly, all the way towards your chest. And then down again, back. So when you breathe in, you actually breathe in first into the lungs. The lungs will expand, they push the ribs aside so you can feel it into your chest. You can feel it into your diaphragm. And then breathe in even deeper all the way towards your belly. So this is the full yogic breath. So you make use of this 3 path. Okay, and then slowly release, bringing the knees into the chest and hug yourself in. Just rock and roll a little bit from left to right. Make some movements. And just feel the breath moving through your body. And see if we can just catch this kind of moments of Atha. Now, the present moment, without any judgment about how it was and how it would be. Slowly roll towards your favorite side and come towards a seated pose. So welcome again. So for a moment, if you have found your seat, see if you can follow your breath. And realize or observe, is it you that is breathing, or is there a bigger power or something that is actually breathing you? Life is breathing you. Or are you using your willpower to breathe? Explore. And slowly bring both hands together in front of your heart and humbly bow your head towards your heart. And here you can set your own personal wish or intention for this class. What is it what you actually need tonight, on this day? What do you need right now? And then slowly opening up the eyes, and let's come into all fours, hands and knees. Spreading the fingers wide. See if you can bring your shoulders in one line with the wrist and your knees in one line with the hips. And on an inhale, arching the spine for cow pose. And on an exhale, round for cat pose. Inhale, really release any tension of the belly. And exhale, maybe pull the navel in, pressing the hands firm to the floor. One more time, inhale, arching, look up. And exhale, rounding. And then move a bit freestyle or parallel towards the floor. So, in this warm-up, where do you breathe? Where can you feel your breath? Can you feel it in your belly, in your diaphragm? Can you feel it more into your chest? also want to straighten out the legs one at a time, pushing the heel away. What is it what your body needs? Because I have no idea what you have been doing today, and depending on what you did, you need something else. So just take your time to maybe roll the joints a little bit, or stretching out some muscles, feeling also the restriction of maybe bones or ligaments. Just observe without adding anything to it. Just enjoy making that contact with your body. Contact with the body really helps you to get out of the mind, and I don't know if that works for you, but I need that really every day, to make that contact with my body, to rest my mind. Okay, let's go into a child pose. So you can open up the knees a little bit, big toes to touch, and then come into your most favorite child pose. So maybe you want to bring your arms to the front. Maybe you want to put your elbows into the floor, make a namaste into your neck. Maybe you bring your legs a little bit closer in your arms alongside your body. And if child pose is not working for you, you can always flip your child pose. Come lay down onto your back, bringing your knees into your chest. And also here, when you're in child pose, choose if you want to maybe be a little bit more still, or maybe you just gentle rock a little bit with your hips, with your arms. And then where can you feel your breath? Can you feel it into your belly, into your diaphragm, into your chest, or maybe a combination of the belly and the diaphragm, or maybe all three of them? Maybe you can explore or experience a full yogic breath. Okay, let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And then slowly come back to all fours, hands and knees. Now spread the fingers wide, so really make a C star of your hands. And then only maybe the thumb, you can bring it a little bit more back towards your index finger. Pull the navel in, make space between your shoulders and your ears. So pull the shoulder blades a little bit down. And then tucking the toes. And first press yourself to the back of your mat. Really press the top of the fingers firm into the floor. And now slowly lift up your knees, tiny little bit off the floor. Really pull the navel in. Feel the strength of your arms. And then slowly lift up your hips all the way, lift up your sitting bones into a downward facing dog. You can start to walk the dog on its spot, so bend one knee and try to straighten the other leg. Now where can you feel your breath in down dog? It's a completely different experience. I know it's difficult, but see if you can try to bring equal weight onto your arms and to your legs. And if there's too much weight onto the arms, you probably can bend your knees maybe a little bit more to be able to push yourself a little bit more
to the back of the mat. So first see if you can straightening the arms and straightening the spine. Keep on walking on the spot. Maybe you move your knees a bit diagonally also in front so you can feel maybe a stretch on the side of your body as well. You can always lowering down your knees again and come back to child pose. Otherwise just stay for another 2 or 3 breaths into down dog. And bend both knees, look between your hands and slowly step by step, your feet all the way to the front of your mat. Place your feet hip distance apart, toes are pointing forward, and then hold the opposite elbow. And start to maybe pull a little bit onto your elbows, maybe slowly, just wiggle a little bit from left to right. Maybe shake your head, yes and no. Make some funny faces here, contracting, releasing the facial muscles. Where can you feel your breath in this pose? Maybe it's even impossible for your feeling to breathe. Or you're like me, that maybe you're just, I'm not even having a cold, but just my nose is getting blocked a little bit by hanging so much forward. So maybe you experience yourself that as well. Okay, slowly roll yourself up. Let go of your elbows. Let your arms hang heavily down. Pull the navel in, really strong legs. Your arms really are relaxed. And then the very last thing is your head coming on top of the rest of the spine. And just make a couple of shoulder rolls here. Just so we're building it up very slow today, but enjoy that. Just the more slow you move, the more or the easier it is actually to make contact with the body. But the mind, of course, thinks something else. So the more slow you move, the more time the mind has to think like, oh, this is not for me. Oh, I will just do something else. So see if you can just recognize that that's just the mind. And hopefully you stay here. Okay, so shake out maybe a little bit of your arms, your legs. Just make that movement to come out a little bit of the stillness and make some more dynamic movements here. And then let's come to the front of the mat. Hands in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up. And on an exhale, forward fold and down. Take a deep breath in, come up halfway. And exhale, forward fold and stay. Inhale, we come halfway. And exhale, forward fold. We're going to do this a couple of times. So on an inhale, you're really trying to straightening the spine, also the upper part of the spine. And on an exhale, you can just round and hang your spine. On an inhale, place your hands either onto the floor, onto your ankles, or onto your shin bones or your knees. Every inhale, try to straightening the arms, the chest, opening up space in the front of your body. And exhale, just allow yourself to fall, nose to the direction of your knee. Inhale and exhale. Just a couple of times on your own. See if you can really explore, where do I have a straight spine?
And where can I release? And it's totally fine to bend your knees a little bit. I also micro bend my knees. Okay, wherever you are, make it your last and your best. Take a deep breath in, really find length. And then on an exhale, the right leg goes back. Big step with your right leg all the way back and lowering down that right knee. Reach the arms overhead, take a deep breath in. And on an exhale, sink a little bit more forward and down. Now take a deep breath in, really straightening the arms. And on an exhale, left arm goes forward and right arm goes backwards. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right arm goes forward and left arm goes backwards. Twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, right arm forward, left arm backwards. And really try to twist with the spine. One more time. Inhale. Maybe the weight a little bit out of the hip. And exhale, sink a little bit more forward into the hip. Last time, twist towards the left. And then we bring both hands down to the floor and come into a downward facing dog. Now take a deep breath in. Now wave yourself into a high push-up plank. And on an exhale, wave yourself backwards into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward all the way. Make sure your shoulders are in one line with your wrist in the plank. And on an exhale, wave yourself backwards again. Just really wave and move the spine in all kind of directions. Forward, well, not in all kind of directions, but just see if you can just flex and extend your spine. Couple of more times, really warm up the body. And one last time, come into a high push-up plank. And back into your downward facing dog. And then lifting up the right leg, bringing the right foot forward, lowering down that left knee. Reach the arms up. Take a deep breath in and exhale, sink into the hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm backwards. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm backwards for that twist. Inhale. Exhale. Now where do you feel your breath? Are you using the full yogic breath? Or are you only breathing into your belly? Are you breathing into your belly and your diaphragm? Or are you more breathing into the chest? And this is not about like, oh, are you doing it good? Or really explore, how is it with you today? How does your breath work? Arms down to the floor. Tuck your left toes and step forward. Inhale, really come up halfway, lengthening and lift, and exhale, forward fold and round. Inhale, come all the way up. And on an exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold and down. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Just feel the breath and enter that magic spot of Atha. Here, right now, without any judgment. You're doing great. It's perfect. It's exactly how it is right now, right here. And then lifting up the right leg. And bring that right knee all the way forward to the outside of your right arm. And push it back. Right knee to the outside of your left arm. And press it back. One more time towards the center, maybe trying to kiss your own knee. And then place your right foot in between your hands. And then come up into a high lunge. Reaching the arms up and settle down into your posture. And then opening up into a warrior two pose. Take a deep breath in, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, back into your warrior. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, back into your warrior pose. Two more times. Inhale, really finding that length on the right side of your body. And exhale, come back. Inhale, breathe deep. And back into your warrior. Now lengthening the front leg. Adjust your leg maybe a little bit. So maybe make the step a tiny little bit smaller. And then come forward and down into your triangle pose. Breathe. So where do you feel your breath now? In some poses, we really just get almost forced to breathe in one particular part. So see if you can just feel that. If you can explore that for yourself. On your next inhale, come up. And on an exhale, bend the front knee and adjust your pose again. Warrior two pose. Take a deep breath in, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, wave your hands down toward twisted lunge. Left hand goes down, left heel goes up, and then the right arm goes up as well. And then bringing the right hand down and step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, come to a high push-up plank. And exhale, lowering down the knees. Slowly come forward and down. And see if you can keep the elbows close towards the ribcage. Straightening the legs, take a deep breath in, opening up the chest. And exhale, press yourself back, pull the navel in. Spread the fingers wide, downward facing dog. Breathe. And lifting up the left leg, bringing that left foot all the way in between your hands. And then lift up into a lunge position, reaching the arms up and sink into the weight, into the hips. And then we're opening up into warrior two. Tweede helde houding. Take a deep breath in, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, back into your warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, or peaceful warrior, they also like to call it. Inhale, finding that length on that left side of your body. And back into your warrior pose one more time. And then straighten the front leg. If you want, adjust your pose, make the pose maybe a little bit smaller. And then come forward and then down into your triangle pose. And slowly come up, come back into your warrior two pose. Take a deep breath in, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, twist your lunge, right hand down, right heel up. And then the left arm goes up as well. Now this is a twist. So here you have less space to breathe. So where can you breathe? Where can you feel your breath now? And slowly left hand down and step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, come to a high push-up plank. And exhale, lowering down the knees. Slowly come forward and down. Strong belly, strong core. Inhale, strong legs, relaxing the neck. And then press yourself back into your downward facing dog. Lifting up the right leg. Bend the right knee and opening up the hip. And then bring your right foot all the way in between your hands and come up into a high lunge. Opening up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, side angle bend. Placing the right arm on top of the right thigh and the left arm goes over the left ear. Adjust your pose as how it feels better for your body. And then maybe you want to stay here. Make sure you have enough space between your right shoulder and your right ear so you don't hang into your shoulder. Or maybe you want to lowering down that right arm to the floor. So you can also use a block or a book and place your right hand on top of the book. See if you can find that length on the whole left side of your body. And then from here, we're going to go into that twist. Twisted lunge again. The left hand goes down, heel goes up, and the right arm goes up as well. And I'm bringing the right hand down, also on the inside of your right foot. And turn your 10 toes to the long side of the mat. And immediately your weight is going to be in your left hip into this kind of skiing pose. Level the right arm with your right leg. The left arm goes up. Look over your left shoulder. Now keep your hips low and come into the center. And then the weight is going to be in the right hip. Skiing pose, other side. So just doing this a couple of times, staying really low in the hips. Opening up. Breathe. Spreading the arms. Look over your left shoulder. And look over your right shoulder. Beautiful, very good. So the next time when your weight is into your right hip, you can just move your right foot to the front of the mat again. And we are back into this lunge position. Hands flat onto the earth and step back into your down dog. Take a deep breath in, wave into a plank. Exhale, lowering down with or without the knees. Inhale all the way up for cobra or upper facing dog. And then back into your downward facing dog. And then lifting up the left leg. Bend the left knee, opening up the hip. Then swing your left foot all the way forward in between your hands and come up into a high lunge. Opening up warrior two. Take a deep breath in, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, into your side angle bend. You can stay here. See if you can level the right foot with the right hip and the right shoulder. Or you can lower down your left hand to the floor or use a block. Just make sure that if you're lowering down your left hand, your hips should lowering down as well a little bit. Relaxing the toes, but firm, steady grip with your heels and the mouse of your big toe and the mouse of your little toe. Relaxing the face, relaxing the eyes. Breathe. See if you can find that moment of Atha. Okay, slowly from here we move into that twisted lunge. Right hand goes down, right heel up, and left arm goes up. And then bringing your left hand down as well on the inside of your left foot. And turn your 10 toes to the long side of your mat. Immediately the weight is going to be in the right hip. Come slowly back towards the center, hands together, and then opening up again into skier pose. So it's really diving into the hips as if you're skiing. Or actually, maybe more ice skating. So maybe you can feel here like a famous ice skater, like Atha, for example. Strong, beautiful, young ice skater from the Netherlands. Okay, last time. So now when the weight is into the left hip, you're going to turn again to the front of your mat. And we're in a lunge position again. Hands flatten to the earth and step back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, come to a high push-up plank. And exhale, lowering down, with or without the knees, your choice. Feel what's working for you today. Opening up for Cobra or upper facing dog. And press yourself back into your downward facing dog. And then walk your feet to the center of your mat. Walk your hands back to the center of the mat as well. And just hang here into a forward fold. Slowly we're going to roll ourselves up, one vertebrae at a time. Until we're completely in a standing posture. And then let's do a balance pose. So bring first the weight really steady into your 2 feet. You can close your eyes for a moment. Softening the knees, softening the jaw, softening the face. And then just pretend that you're falling a little bit backwards. So the weight is coming more onto your heels. And then just feel what your toes are doing. And then see if you can pretend that you fall forwards a little bit. And then see what your toes are doing. Maybe you even want to have a look at your toes. So the toes are helping you to stay in balance. So let's see if you can relax the toes. Closing the eyes, steadiness into the weight into 2 legs. Feeling the breath. And then opening up the eyes and take your dristi. It's a point in front of you which is not moving, and you just stare through it. So you're not really look at it, you just actually stare through it. And then place the weight into your right leg, lifting up the left. Hands in front of your heart and opening up that hip. Option 1, placing the toes to the floor, the heel against the ankle. Maybe you want to lift up that foot a little bit higher. And maybe with a little help also of your hand, you can place it into your thigh or maybe even your inner groin. Hands in front of your heart again and relaxing the face. Give yourself maybe a nice smile here. And remember, if you fall out, smile and just try again. It's just a moment in time, Atha. It doesn't matter how many times you already fall out or how many times you actually manage to stay in balance here. It's today, it's a new practice. So we're all beginners. We have to just practice. How is my balance today? And can I actually also stay with my breath in this pose? If you want, you can straighten the arms overhead. And maybe change your dristi and look up towards the ceiling. Breathe.
And then slowly come back again. First with the hands, and as slow as we go in, as slow as we go out. So try to also slowly go out. And then again, both feet onto the earth and feel the difference maybe between left and right. Softening the face. Release any tension. And then we're gonna do the tree pose to the other side. So all the way into your left leg, slowly lifting up the right. If you know where to go, just go, but build it up slowly. So opening up the hip, maybe the toes to the floor, heel to the ankle. Maybe a little bit higher towards your calf muscle. Try not to sink in too much into that left hip, but straighten out of that left leg. And then maybe the last thing you can do is straightening the arms and maybe also change the dristi. The dristi, the point where you're looking at. Slowly come out again. And then opening up the feet a little bit wider and sink into your squat pose, the birth squat. Maybe you want to wiggle a little bit from left to right. Maybe you place your hands to the floor. And maybe this pose is really, really challenging for you. And then maybe you just want to sit down onto the floor, placing the heels very close towards your pubic bone. And then maybe just butterfly a little bit. So this is a nice option if the birth squat wiggling movement is just not feeling good today. And then I would like to try the Bakasana today with you, the kraanvogel, the arm balance. So the first step will actually be place your feet a little bit closer. And you actually place your knees somewhere already very close towards your arms, so there's already connection. So when they're too far, it's difficult to really go with your knees to your arms. So place your hands close, so there is already a connection. And my knees are outside and my hands are inside my legs. So that's why we started with the wide squat. But the feet are now going a little bit more closer, but the knees are still wide. And what we're going to do is first playing with the balance. So see if you can just bring the weight a little bit forward and backwards. And maybe you're just playing a little bit with even falling. Oh, there was a little bit too much weight to the back. And maybe you fall forward and then you're also like, okay, this was a little bit too much weight to the front. And this is how you can actually play with the weight, bringing forward and backwards. Because Bakasana is really about bringing the weight forward and backwards. Now, pulling the navel in, and it's very important to lift up your sitting bone really, really high. So just accelerate a little bit, or just not accelerate, I think. Sorry for my English sometimes. It's just that you just really want to bring your sitting bones really, really high up. And then another really important thing in Bakasana is that you want to look forward. So many of you or many of us are going to look towards our own toe, but you actually want to create that lift into the spine. And then it's easier to bring the weight forward.
So your hands are still closed, so it's easy now for your knees to touch the back of your arms, pull the navel in, sitting bones right high up, and see if you can bring the weight a little bit forward and backwards. And at one point, when you have just brought the weight enough forward, then it will be light to lift up the feet off the earth. As long as the weight is not going enough forward, you get that uncomfortable hop. So you don't want to go for the hop. You just want to play with the weight forward and backwards. Look forward, pull the navel in, sitting bones high. And when you just receive enough weight, then you can lift up your feet. Just breathe. Just try it a couple of times, spreading the fingers wide. So it's really about bringing the weight forward and backwards, forward and backwards. Okay, let's try it one more time. If you have a book or a block, it's sometimes nice also to practice it with your feet onto a block. So make sure your hands are close, looking forward. Knees are close to the arms already. Lift up the sitting bones and bring the weight forward. Wow, very good. I wonder, where was your breath while doing this pose? Maybe you forgot completely to breathe. Okay, let's come into a seat. So you can bring your legs to the front, straighten both legs, take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, come into a forward fold. If you want, you can sit onto something or maybe slightly bending the knees. You want to feel it somewhere on the back of your body. And don't pull too much. Be careful with the hamstrings. Be careful with the lower back. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. And then slowly come up. Separate your feet a little bit, like hip distance apart. And then place your right ankle on top of your left ankle, like this. Now maybe you need a little bit more space, like this. And then I'm looking for a stretch somewhere on the right side of your buttocks. So you can even bring your right knee a little bit more to the back. Or if you want to feel more, you can bring your buttocks closer toward your heel or your heel closer towards your buttocks. Now sit up really tall and straight, because here, sometimes you don't feel anything. But when you start to actually straighten the spine, then it's coming. Right foot is flexed as well. Breathe. Relaxing the face. Where's your breath right now? And then if you want, just optional, you can also, with that leg still onto your left leg, lift up. And slowly come back down and then change. And often this hip leg is different. So maybe you need a little bit less or more distance. See if you can feel that stretch again on the outside of your left leg, left buttocks. Couple of breaths here. Where can you feel your breath? Just come into that moment of Atha. Maybe you want to close your eyes and really just breathe.
And then optional, if you want, you can lift up into this reverse tabletop, but then this time with one leg. And then slowly come back down. And come lay down onto your back, bringing your knees into the chest. You can hug yourself in. And then we're going to do one more round of back bend. So placing the feet onto the floor. See if you can touch the back of your heels. Okay, so place your feet hip distance apart. And with your fingers touch your heels. And then take a deep breath in and lift up for a half bridge pose. You can see if you can maybe bring your shoulder blades a little bit more towards each other. Still having your hands flat onto the earth. Or if you want, you can interlace the fingers in between each other, in each other. And both options, see if you can wiggle your shoulder blades even more towards each other, creating space between the ears and the shoulders. Now lift up a little bit higher by pressing your feet towards the floor. And slowly come back. Just have one breath here. And then we're going to do the second round. So feet hip distance apart, checking the distance with your fingers to your heels. And really press your feet firm into the floor. If you want, either interlock the fingers or keeping your hands flat onto the floor. See if you can keep your chin away from your chest, creating that space. But on every inhale, see if you can maybe press your chest a little bit more towards your chin. So really lengthening, pressing, relaxing the toes and breathe. Where can you feel your breath now? Try to feel and experience your breath while doing this Setu Bandhasana half bridge pose. And slowly come down again. So if 2 times was enough, just stay here. And otherwise, join me for third half bridge pose. Feet flat onto the earth, relaxing the toes. Touching with your fingers the back of your heels to just check the distance. When you're up, your knees should be more or less in one line with your ankles. And then come into your gentle maximum of your back bend here. Really opening up the front of the body. Squeezing the back of the body. And pressing the inside of your feet firm to the floor. So don't let your knees drop out too much. Pull the navel in and breathe. And then slowly come back down. And release. Maybe you want to bring your knees into your chest. Or maybe you separate your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees come to touch. One hand onto your belly, one hand onto your diaphragm, and just observe the breath. And then everyone can bring the knees into the chest. And then roll onto your left and right side and come to a seated pose. So any seated pose, what suits your body is fine. You can sit even onto a chair, or you can sit cross-legged, sit onto your heels, maybe take an extra pillow or blanket to support your body. And then come into meditation, closing the eyes, softening the shoulders. And let's just meditate together for a couple of minutes. What is meditation? Pure fascination with this moment, exactly as it is, not adding anything, not taking anything away. No goal, no seeking, no meditator, in fact. Thoughts appearing and falling away, like waves in a vast ocean. Sounds coming and going unexpectedly. Sensations dancing, whistling, breathing, rising and falling in the vast field, this wide open space, timeless, deathless, free. What is meditation? And the question itself dissolves. Without moving too unexpectedly. So moving very slowly, without disturbing yourself or others around you. You can slowly come into a laying position and come into Shavasana. Make sure your legs and your arms can individually relax from each other. So make space in between the legs, the arms. Maybe bring your shoulder blades a little bit more towards each other. Bring the weight really towards the earth, as if you're helping gravity. And maybe visualize yourself again into that big, nice golden hand that's carrying you. Relax. Relax. Surrender. Surrender completely. Become still.
And slowly start to activate your breath again. Start to wiggling your toes, your hands, your wrists, your ankles. And then on your next in-breath, reach your arms overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. Pushing your heels away and your toes away. And bringing your knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. And then roll onto your favorite side. And slowly, from here, you can come back into a seated posture again. Again, any seated posture what suits your body. And bring both hands together in front of your heart. And bow your head towards your heart. Atha Yoga Anushashvanam. You can only practice yoga in the now. And when I say the word now, it's already a new now. 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 So how do you feel at this moment? And how do you feel at this moment? At this moment? At this moment? Atha. Now. Now. So life is always a constant chain of moments of nows. Just breathe, become silent. Listen to the sound of your breath. And you practice yoga. Lifting up the head, lengthening the spine. And I'm going to finish with one Om. If you want to join me, it would be very nice. Otherwise, listening is also very nice. Let's exhale completely. Let's empty our lungs. Then take a deep breath in. And then bow deep. Deep to who you are right now. Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, the stillness, the blank, the nothingness, the not knowing, the fullness, the whole roller coaster. Let's bow to it. And you can open up the hands to share your practice also with those who need it maybe more than yourself. So you can share your practice to a higher good. So this was the class. Thank you so much for joining and watching. I really, really always love to
read the comments and the nice messages I get from you. So keep spreading the love, keep connecting. It really touches my heart. I really miss my student in front of you. I do really like that I also suddenly can reach more people. So that's really nice. I'm really happy with that. But yeah, if you have any questions, just write into the comments below the video. Otherwise, I wish you a really, really nice week and hope to see you next class again. Bye.